Welcome back to A is for Addict. Thanks for joining me. Those that are here for the first time, please go back, check the previous books. Okay, so I ended the last book when I had started working at a company in Kempton Park. I had been clean now for quite a while. For an addict, the most difficult thing is a relapse or a slip. I told you about the time when I went on leave from the rehab and I used that once. Now at that time I must have been a good 18 months or 2 years clean already because of the prison and previous rehabs and all. So I was quite clean, and then I had that one slip. Now for an addict, we'd love to say, or we'd love to believe that it was only that small one fix. It doesn't really count, so I'm still 2 years clean. But unfortunately it's not like that. Deep inside we know that we've messed up, and that's our clean time gone. And for an addict, losing clean time is something that really plays on our minds. We really don't like that to happen, although it happens so frequently. So yeah, I was clean except that slip. So I wasn't clean. I was probably about a year clean then from being in the rehab after my leave, or 6 months or so. I don't want to lie, I don't know exactly. But yeah, I began working and I quite enjoyed it. Like I say, I was driving, and I don't want to go off the topic of addiction too much, because that's exactly what this video is all for. And now the years following, there's not much trauma or that type of thing that I can talk about. So I'm just going to give you the breakdown of a mental state of an addict coming clean and starting to work again. So yeah, I was working and I was enjoying it. I was driving every day, doing deliveries, doing collections, and I think I was given that chance, and I really didn't want to mess it up. There were many times being on the road. Like I said, I hadn't thought of using again. It hadn't been a constant thought in my mind. But obviously with addiction there had been times when there was a fleeting thought, something that would just go through my mind quickly, that I could use. Nobody, I'm driving, I'm on the road, no one knows, so it crossed my mind a good couple of times. But by this time I think I was strong enough to fight against it, and I knew that it's not where I want to be, and I knew it's not where I want to end up. I didn't want to go back to the way I was. In rehabs and in support groups, they talk about triggers. Now, for people that don't know what a trigger is something that not pressurizes us, but all of a sudden gives us that urge to want to go and use. Everybody's got a different trigger. Let me give you a good example. See that most people are smokers. A cup of coffee for a smoker, most smokers, a cup of coffee is a trigger, because after that coffee they got to have a cigarette. So triggers can be anything. It can be people, it can be places, it can be a smell. A trigger can be just about anything. One of my triggers was routes. Certain roads, certain places that I knew as soon as I drove down a certain road, especially in Rejettenville, because a lot of deliveries were in Johannesburg. So if I would go a certain way and drive down a certain road, I would start thinking about the drug use. Maybe not immediately start thinking about using, but I would start thinking about the people there and about what they're doing and are they okay. And then part of me trying to convince myself maybe I should stop by and see if they're all okay, if they need something, which I know today, was all an excuse within myself to try and get myself to go there. Thank the Lord, thank God, I never did. I never played on those feelings. I totally ignored it. And when I started seeing it for what it was, when I started realizing that, hey, this is triggers that's in place here, I started changing routes. I started going different directions. I would avoid those type of places completely. Even if it meant 2 roads or 1 road away from where I would usually drive, where we would usually be making my plans when I was on drugs, even if it was just a road away. I would rather drive that road and not drive the road that would trigger me. So I had that. I knew the things I had to avoid, and I knew what my triggers were from all the times in rehab. I mean, that's what I say. There was a lot of therapy and a lot of different classes and that involved in the different rehabs. And one thing I did pick up was the importance of triggers and of knowing what they are. So knowing that, it really did help me a big way through. And also, I hadn't stopped praying. I had still been praying every day and thanking God. I thank God continuously for taking me out of that pit of darkness that I was in, that was absolutely ruining my life, ruining my family's life. Things were so chaotic at one time. I had nobody, I had nothing, and now here I was out of that and trying again. Slowly but surely, I started obviously reaching out to family first. I started reaching out and trying to reconnect with people that had written me off and people that I had let down. It was not easy in the beginning. This coming from the past that I've told you about. It's not easy for family to just say, he's clean now, let's accept him back. That wasn't going to happen. But as an addict, you expect that. You expect this honeymoon period where everybody's just so nice to you and praising you because now you're clean and you're doing well. Where addicts watching their recovering addicts, not to be hard or cold, but we can't expect that. We do expect it, but we can't. It's going to take people a long time to forgive you and to see that you're really trying and really are clean now. I'm going on 14 years and there's still people that I know are waiting for me to mess up, or for people that still don't trust that in 14 years I've never used. That's guaranteed that there's people that still think that I've used. And rather than let that be a trigger for me to push me that way, I'd rather use it as a reason to stay clean, a reason to keep on fighting. People think once you come clean, you're clean and life is good. Which just reminds me also of something I read the other day also, one of these addiction platforms or recovery platforms. Somebody had posted a question and they had asked, why do addicts that are no longer using, why do they still call themselves addicts? And for a person that doesn't use, was never used and hasn't got an addictive personality, maybe that type of question makes sense. But for me, it's so obvious. It's so obvious that we never lose that addictive nature. It's in everything we do. So yeah, I might not be on crack cocaine anymore. I might not be shooting up on heroin every single day anymore. But my addictive nature is still there. My addictive nature hasn't left me. So rehab's got a saying, I think I mentioned it before, 1 is too many and 1,000's not enough. Meditate on those words and concentrate on those words and see exactly what it's saying. 1 is too many and 1,000's not enough. I cannot go near any type of drug like that and I will relapse. It's not even a matter of, I'll do it once and nobody will ever know. I know within myself that once is going to lead to me not stopping. That once is going to lead to the end of my life. And so I'll completely stay away from it. So yes, I'm working, I'm carrying on, I'm being as strong as I can. I'm trying to reach out to family. Eventually I try to reach out to friends as well. This is when I realized there were people that had not forgiven me and will not forgive me, and it was extremely hard. I battled with that for a long time within myself, thinking that people were wrong, but in the back of my mind also understanding what I had done to all of them. So one thing an addict hasn't got is patience, and it's going to take patience for you to get your family back. I won't say win your family over, because for me saying that, it sounds like manipulation all over again. It sounds like you're in a game that you're playing to win. And our lives and our family's lives are no game. We're not playing a game to win or to lose. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting for your respect, your self-respect. You're fighting for people to accept you back into their homes and back into their lives again. And that's not a small thing, you know. To die one day alone and with nothing, I'm sure it must be the fear of just about everybody. Nobody wants that. And us addicts know that dying that way is a big possibility. I've been lucky. I've had people that have finally seen that I'm at least trying. You know, I think there's people that realize that I'm clean and I've been trying and I'm doing well over 14 years. There's the rest of them that think the same but are still a little bit guarded, wondering if I will ever relapse. I don't believe I ever will. I also won't say I never will, because I've done that throughout my life and failed, and I don't intend on failing again. So yeah, it's not the easiest thing coming clean, and that period that follows. For years I would still struggle with that, you know. But anyway, back to when I was working. So now probably the best thing that happened in my life is a story I'm about to tell you, which I'm going to save for next time. It was also during this time that I was clean and working that I started reaching out and try to find Claudia again, you know, because she, once again, I couldn't find her. I didn't know where she was. So I started posting on Facebook and everywhere looking for her, and eventually I did manage to get a hold. I can't remember if she contacted me first from me giving out my number, or if I got a number from somebody. I really can't remember, but either way we did reconnect. But it was so different, you know. There was such a big gap missing now between me and her. It wasn't the same. Things were different. I do believe I tried. Like I said, I hate being alone, you know. So obviously I wanted somebody in my life, and Claudia at that time I thought would have been perfect for me. I had messed it up the first time. Maybe I could resolve those problems and fix things up, and we could start again. So I did reach out to her, and I tried a while, but she was very offish on the phone. She didn't speak to me properly, not properly, but she just seemed very distant with me, which I understand. And I did see her. I think I saw her twice. Once I went to visit her at her mom's place, and once she had some issues in Pretoria, and she actually asked me if I can help, and I went through and tried to assist, which, I don't know, it wasn't the best of things to do, because I mean I got to see her and that, but things weren't the same. But I kept in contact with her, and I kept on phoning her and staying in touch with her. And not long after that, I met my wife. I'm going to get into that in the next book. For those of you who were here for the first time, please go back and watch from book 1 to experience with me my entire 20 years of addiction, all the trauma and the chaos and all the experiences I had during that time. See the hurt and the pain that you'd rather want to avoid, you know. Stay away from drugs. If you're an addict, stay far away from this. I hope that people are getting to see that no matter how long you've been in addiction, recovery is possible. That is why these books have been made, to show you that, and to make myself rid of all the guilt and the shame that I felt for so long. There's still so many things I'm so sorry for, and people that I've hurt, that I know I'm never going to be able to fix in this lifetime, but that I do want their forgiveness still, and do ask their forgiveness. New book will be coming out soon. Keep on watching till you hear the end, so you can see that recovery is possible, and all we got to do is hang in there. Thank you all for watching once again. This is A is for Addict. See you soon. Cheers.